Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another version of Victory Monday here at No Credentials Required. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of your humble hosts. Dan Goldstein will be joining me momentarily, but I'm just going to do a brief cold open because I'm going to open up the show with another uh, with a new opening for Victory Monday. So it's uploading right now at the moment. In the meantime, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, give us a like and leave us a comment. We want your comments. We want you to engage. So engage with us. Here's your prompt for leaving an internet comment. So here you go. We want your algorithmic engagement content comments. Let me play it again. It's a beautiful sound. Let me play it again. Roll that beautiful bean coverage. All right. So let me go ahead and just tell you briefly. You are listening or watching or listening to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Godzilla Media. If you're on the socials, right here, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, at No Creds REQ, Facebook.com. If you're watching on Facebook, I know Credentials Required channel, leave us a thumbs up, leave us a like, comment, and Dan's ready to go in just a moment. We'll just go through the social media channels on YouTube. YouTube, No Credentials Required. Hit the like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. On the podcast side, Spreaker is our home base for No Credentials Required, but you can also find us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, basically any platform. Rate and review. If you leave a review, rate and review 5 stars is preferred rating, and leave a review. I might even read it on the air. Same thing with comments. I'm going to read comments on the air while I go on. And now I'm going to bring in the co-host of Victory Monday as we talk about the New York Jets' very awesome victory yesterday over the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to bring in my good friend and fellow Jets fan from South Florida, Dan Goldstein. Look at him. He's dancing already. It looks like Jets pajamas.
That's correct, sir. Onesie all the way down to the foot.
That's spectacular. I need to get me one of those.
I've had these for probably about a decade.
Wait, you live in South Florida and you're wearing onesies?
Only for this show. They're coming right off here as soon as this is done because I'm already sweating ass right now. It's terrible.
Oh, look at that. Look at this first comment from Belly Up Sports. It's from Mike or Blaine. It says, Ryan is the most beautiful host around. That's our review. Thank you, Belly Up Sports. I appreciate you guys.
They ain't wrong.
Yeah, and he's my beautiful co-host on Victory Monday, and Dustin, who's my regular co-host on Tuesdays, he's my beautiful co-host. So, Dan, I promised the people that I would play this. I'm gonna play our brand new opener. This is a world premiere. I showed you last night the world premiere of our Victory Monday video intro. And just like Ron Middleton, we're going to hit it right now.
Hit it.
Victory Monday!
I love it. That Jet was just like the Jets' playoff hopes. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Mike or Blaine at the controls right now at Belly Up Sports, but hey,
wait till
Dan.
Hey, Mike and Blaine, wait till the Jets win the Super Bowl and you see the Jets thong. I got one.
Oh, we may have to mark that episode as NSFW.
That is
not safe for
that
work.
Thong is definitely not safe for work. Let me tell you. And yes, it's true. I have one. My friend's mom made me one as a joke. I had it in a box of old Jet shoes.
Wow, your friend's mom made you one. I mean, my goodness. I mean, that's high compliment.
He's a Chargers fan. She made him some cool ass pajama pants. And I was like, yo, make me something with some Jets on it. She's like, I can make you whatever I want. Excuse me. And I was like, yeah, whatever you want. Make me anything. I don't care. I'll wear it. She goes, and I guess in her head she clicked already. She's like, okay. She goes, but the only thing is that after I make it, you got to send me a picture of you wearing it. All right, no problem. 2 weeks later, he gets a package. He still lived down here at the time. He gets a package and he's like, dude, you got to come over after work. He's like, you got to come over after work. I was like, I'm like, what happened? He goes, I'm sorry, this long COVID shit is still happening.
Sorry, man.
Oh, it's brutal. And he's like, my mom sent you your clothes. I was like, oh, nice. Yeah, I'll be over there. So I go over there and he's like, you ready? Yeah, man. Let me see. What'd your mom make? Pulls out literally. This thing is all string around the hips, string right down the crack, and then just a nut cup that just has Jets logo on it. That's all it is. There, it leaves zero to the imagination. And I will wear it running around outside yelling and screaming the day the Jets win the Super Bowl.
I have no words.
And on the Super Bowl Victory Monday podcast we do.
I have no words. Other than you're lucky you live in South Florida, because if you were living up here in upstate New York, where it's currently 48 degrees and pouring rain. Sorry, 49 degrees and pouring rain. But in January or February, it's freaking freezing. You would have frostbite for sure. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, don't forget, I'm a born and raised South Floridian. I've never even been in snow. So let alone like just going into snow in like regular clothes in general would probably be freezing to me, let alone in just nothing but a Jets nut hugger. But maybe one day.
Someday.
Maybe one day.
Someday. Hopefully it's sooner than later. I mean, the way the Jets have been playing, especially yesterday. My good, I guess the Green Bay Packers of all teams. Now, these are not the Green Bay Packers, your mom and dad's Green Bay Packers, where they're just a juggernaut, because Aaron Rodgers has great wide receivers, great tight end, good running game. Now, these Green Bay Packers, there's a lot of debate on whether the Jets are this good or the Packers are that bad. It could be a little bit of each, but in my mind, as a bias fan, I'll show my bias. The Jets are just good. They're better than what everybody think they are.
Yeah, the Jets are good, and the crazy thing is they're 4-2 without having actually played a complete game yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't tell me the Jets aren't good at this point. The Jets are good. They're a solid squad, and they're just a young ascending team that has full belief in their abilities and their coaching staff to beat whoever has the audacity to step on the field with them week after week. And it's awesome, and I love it. It. This is crazy. Like, I don't remember the last time I've been so excited this point of the season. We're already talking, like others have said, we're already talking, I'm already doing mock drafts by this point.
Yeah, we're usually saying, all right, how far up are we going to see the Jets in the draft next season? And that conversation is not happening. These conversations are not happening.
I'm not even thinking about it yet. I don't even know what draft prospects I'm looking at yet. I'm usually by this point, I'm already starting to figure out who I'm looking at and what positions and this, that, and another thing. I don't have a clue. Not a clue. And you know what?
I don't care.
Awesome.
And I don't care, because right now the Jets are in the second place. If the Bills had lost yesterday, the Jets would be in first place in the AFC East right now.
Would have been amazing.
But they didn't play prevent defense like last year. Leslie Frazier learned his lesson, and decided to not send the fleet, but just let his cornerbacks do his thing. So let's talk about this game. And I didn't watch the game until this morning. I watched the condensed game because I have an NFL.com subscription. I watched the condensed game. Great game. I was listening to the game, and the great Bob Wischusen on call on play-by-play, and Marty Lyons doing his thing on color commentary on the app, because there's no local stations that carry Jets football anymore, unfortunately, in my area. But
really,
no. After the 2019 season, the local ESPN affiliate decided to not renew their contract with for the Jets.
So it's all Buffalo by you?
No, Giants are on one station. I don't know where Buffalo is. Which station Buffalo the Bills play on? but it's
You asking a Floridian, brother?
that's okay. No, I'm trying to remember which. I know the Giants are on a classic rock station. They've been there for years, but I don't know about the Bills. But the Jets, they're no more. The only big New York team that our ESPN affiliate plays is the Yankees,
That's
and
awful.
that
I'm
is
sorry.
awful.
That
But
is awful. If I lived in New York and couldn't listen or watch the Jets at any I wanted to, I'd be furious.
well, thankfully thankfully NFL.com has an app, and I can I can listen to a game whenever I want, which
Yeah,
is awesome. I'd rather listen to Bob Wischusen than have to listen to the D team on CBS or
we
the
had the
B
eight.
team on Fox.
We had the A team yesterday at the
We
game. That
did.
was
We
that
had
was who was it?
Joe
Olson,
Davis
Olson
and
and
Greg Olson and Joe
Olson,
Davis
Olson and Bernhardt,
or Kevin
Kevin
Bernhardt.
something.
Yeah, Kevin Bernhardt.
Thank
Yep.
you,
Yep.
Bernhardt. Yeah. So yeah, problem is I was out at a bar, and of course South Florida Dolphins get the speaker system.
Ugh.
So I had a rough Saturday. We won't go into that. Very very depressed. So I wanted just to go out on my own on Sunday. Usually I'll watch it with my daughter, but yesterday was just kind of like daddy only kind of a day. Just let daddy go and unwind and watch some football. And
Mhm.
I went to a local watering hole by myself and watched the Jets game. So I didn't get to hear any commentary. I just got to sit back and watch. And what a game it was. And boy, were those Dolphins fans next to me pissed off at me by the time that was over.
I I was at my parents' house doing some outdoor activities, doing some cleanup. Well, not cleanup, but staining their deck for the winter. And my mom and my
Such a
dad were
good
listening.
son.
You know what though? I mean, spending most of the day outside. It was 60 something degrees outside out upstate New York yesterday. It's a good day to do some staining. So my brother and I did that. I had to got my earbud in one ear. Got um, Bob and Marty doing their thing on the app, and I had a little bit of a delay on my feed, so my parents I could hear my mom going "Yay!" when the Jets did something good before I heard Bob say anything about the play. But we got to talk about some things. I have a little bit of concern in regards to the offense, but I think my fears are a little. I would say far fetched, but they're a little bit. I think they'll be assuaged eventually, and that's the passing game. The passing game's been kind of, I wouldn't say lackluster, but the passing game hasn't been. Uh, I think we need more to see more explosive plays. We didn't see many of explosive plays yesterday, except for that 40-yard catch by Corey Davis, which led to the Braxton Berrios touchdown. But Zach Wilson didn't have a spectacular game yesterday, and I don't think he really needed to.
I mean, from what the Jets ended up doing there, I mean, that first half was brutal to watch. I mean, the
I'm
first
glad I
half was
didn't
just a
watch it, but
yeah, the first half was literally just a defensive, just back and forth, like just knocking each other senseless is really all that was.
yeah,
So it was, it was kind of unfortunate because the Jets really could have pulled away very early if they could
yes,
have gotten anything going on offense because Green Bay was flustered right from Jump Street. So it literally came down to the halftime adjustments, who was going to make them to be more effective because that was who was
mm,
taking the game because neither team looked like they were going to be able to do much of anything at all. So, it
right,
was just you just were waiting to see who was going to come out in the half and actually do something to switch it up a little bit and try and provide some sort of a spark. And luckily for us, Mike LaFleur was able to outsmart Matt LaFleur and get a few things going to throw a little spark in there, and along with obviously the defense and special teams coming through all day long like they did. So
hmm
I can't wait for an actual complete game. Like I can't wait. I can't wait for a game where
yeah,
Zach's like 24 of 31 for like 310 yards and three scores, and the defense has like four sacks, a forced fumble. Special teams has like two field goals, and like Braden's Putin like 49-yard average. You know,
God bless you.
Thank you. So I tried to mute that. Did I mute that in time?
Yes, you did. And
Oh,
for those of you on the podcast side, that was Dan sneezing. But
yes, thank you. Um, but yeah, like I'm just that's just what the crazy thing about this is. We've seen a dominant last 2 weeks and very good Zach fourth quarter against the Steelers, but we haven't seen him just do it all in 1 week. So I'm like waiting for that week where excuse me, I'm waiting for that week where the offense comes out and just unloads in every facet and the defense comes out and just dominates and the special teams just, they just do what they do. Block a
yeah,
punt, just Braxton just returning for 35 yards a clip. Braden Mann punting for 50 average, downing people in the 10 inside the 10. Just stuff like that. Like I'm just waiting for the complete game. But it's awesome to see him win however they're going to win right now. So,
I'm just glad they scored points in the third quarter finally.
yes, that too. That was clutch. Even though
I had my worries in that when they had that 3 and out in the first drive of the second quarter of the second half. You get the ball for a reason. You get the ball for a reason in the second half when you defer, and they're coming off. Defense was playing great. Offense was kind of starting to get in rhythm, and all of a sudden 3 and out. And I'm sitting there going, I'm listening to the game. I'm going, this is gonna be a bad ending. But no, this defense came to play yesterday, and I mentioned this morning on Snowman in the Morning. Go and watch it on YouTube on my Coffee with McCarthy segment. We talked about Quinnen Williams, and I couldn't think of anything bad. I mean, there's nothing really bad you could say about Quinnen Williams right now. This guy's dominant. He's becoming the. I said it on other Victory Mondays in the past, but he's finally starting to put his game together where he's the force that Jets fans have been waiting for since 2017 when he was drafted. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, I think he's the only draft pick of Mike Maccagnan's still playing for the Jets.
Nathan Shepard.
Nathan Shepard, okay. Although I thought he was a free agent. I thought he was a undrafted free agent.
No, he was a third round pick.
Okay.
Nathan Shepard was a third round pick.
But
Fort Hays State.
Yeah.
Canada.
But he's from Canada, the Canadian Thanos.
Yep.
But Quinnen's, I think if you had a vote today for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL period, it's coming down to two people. It's coming down to Von Miller. It's coming down to Quinnen Williams. And if you're a voter, you've got a very tough decision to make because, yeah, Von Miller's got the name, but Quinnen Williams, his season so far has been, especially in yesterday's game, he's just been such a dominant force in that interior defensive line for the New York Jets.
He's been unstoppable. I mean, he's been a monster. It doesn't matter. I would love to see him go up against like Quinnen Williams. Oh, I'm sorry, not Quinnen. I mean, Quentin Nelson. I would love to see him go up against like Quentin Nelson or go up against like Creed Humphrey because I would love to see what he does to like the upper echelon guy. Creed Humphrey's probably the best center in the game at the moment. Quentin Nelson's first ballot Hall of Fame guard. I'd love to see what he's with the way he's playing this year, what he would do to those two guys. Because I don't even think either one of them would have a chance at stopping him all game long. I mean, he is just an absolute monster. I mean, to have what was it? I think it was 5 tackles, it was 2 sacks, it was like 2 or 3 tackles for loss. He had a forced fumble, a blocked field goal. I mean, like what an absolute beast. He's going to get paid. See, Aaron Donald makes $31 million a year, by far top of the defensive tackle list. I mean, the next closest one is Leonard Williams at $21 million with, I think, DeForest Buckner. Quinnen.
I'd like to see the poor team that the poor suckers had to pay Leonard Williams $21 million. Oh wait, they play the same stadium as the Jets.
Yeah, they're 5-1. So
yeah, I'm not going to laugh at that, but man.
Yeah, they're not regretting it. It doesn't seem like they're regretting it, but
No.
I have a feeling this is going to be a very, very difficult contract negotiation that we're going to get into with Quinnen Williams because, a lot of it, they could have paid him last year and probably got him on a bargain,
Yeah.
but they wanted to see another year of it. And now, I mean, again, I don't blame Joe Douglas for that. I mean, you just hadn't quite seen the version of Quinnen that we're seeing this year to justify paying him 20, 21, 22 million dollars.
No,
He was probably a 13, 14 million dollar defensive tackle who was good, not great. But now you've got him on this just massive, massive ascension to superstardom as a defensive tackle, and it's gonna cost us. Like, it's going to cost us. But I mean, if you're gonna pay anybody at this point, I would love to pay Quinnen. We finally would be rewarding a true homegrown superstar to stay in New York and just continually build upon Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh's culture.
yeah, and this is year 5. This is year 5 for Quinnen Williams, and like you said, Dan, I think they could have paid him last year. They could have extended his contract out another couple seasons, but I think Joe Douglas is treating this like a one and done season, like he would with any other free agent that comes in who's a little bit older, has a little bit more experience. And this is Quinnen Williams' one and done season. And I think right now I think if he continues this pace, I think by end of November you'll see a contract extension.
I think you'll see them hit this table. His agent's a smart girl though. His agent, Nicole Lynn, she ain't no joke. She's really climbing the ranks of a football agency. She's not one to be messed with. I don't think they'll be able to figure something out in season. I really don't. I think they're going to really want to. I think Quinnen himself is going to want to continue to play this out to see if he can get rewards and accolades for his play to help continually just boost his value even further. And to be honest, I don't blame him. Granted, the one caveat of that is knock on every freaking piece of wood you can possibly find that he gets hurt and doesn't have, and it's serious and he doesn't have the long-term protection any longer. But I think he's willing to bet on himself. He's never been one to truly be hurt. He's been very healthy. He's been very durable. He's been very consistent. So I have a feeling he's going to bet on himself, and it's going to repay handsomely. And at this point, you're Joe Douglas. I essentially just kind of hand them the checkbook and say, write your number and I'll sign it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what PFF graded Quinnen for his game yesterday?
Oh my God. If it's low, like those nerds all usually have Jets at, I'm going to flip a lid.
Take a guess.
77.
Less?
You
want to try one more?
It can't be any less than 70.
Less. They graded Quinnen a 64.5.
Nerds. God dang nerds.
64.5, bro. Jets Twitter went berserk on PFF.
Let me read his stat line. 5 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. That was a 60. That was a 60. What, 65? You said?
And a blocked field goal and a forced fumble.
And a blocked field goal and a forced. Well, yeah, the forced fumble.
He got credit.
He got credit for it. Okay.
I'm gonna count it. 64.5. Bro, PFF is a joke.
Hates the Jets. Okay.
PFF is a joke. They're apparently going to come out on Wednesday and explain the score. But I can't
wait to hear this.
There's going to be, oh my God. They're going to get ripped apart. They're going to get ripped apart. I mean, they already are, but I mean,
what's funny is before I showed up for the pod, I actually wrote an article about this this rando on Twitter who stands by his statement from back in April that the New York Jets draft was not good. He said that they should have picked Kayvon instead of Sauce.
I saw that guy.
Yeah.
He's making the rounds.
I wrote an article about him.
Yeah, I saw that, bro. Just take the L. Own up you were wrong. Take the L.
I told him. That was basically the crux of my article. that was the crux of my article. Like, dude, you should have stopped, or you should have not have tweeted it at all, or you should have stopped that. You should have stopped that defending not defending, but calling the Jets, comparing the Jets to the Carolina Panthers, who are, whose ownership right now is being fitted. They're test driving a Sherman tank right now. Okay, they just traded Robbie Anderson, who got in a fight with the interim head coach yesterday, and they traded him to the Cardinals this morning.
Saw that
for like a second and a third, I think.
No,
or a third and a fourth,
a fifth, or a fifth. It's a 6th round pick next year, and a 7th round pick the year after that.
Oh my God!
It's a 6th rounder in 24 and a 7th in 25, just to say, get the
in 24 and 25.
Yeah.
My God!
Carolina,
what are the Panthers doing?
Carolina doesn't even get anything to use this season. Isn't that something?
They're gonna take this season and next season if they're getting 24 and 20 picks for 24 and 25.
All right, buddy. Yep, it's a 6 and a 7th, no less. They couldn't even squeeze a 7th for 23 in there. Crazy, right?
I mean,
crazy.
No, that's a poverty franchise right now.
Hell yeah,
that's a poverty franchise.
And it's hysterical. All these fans coming out here saying that like Carolina, like all these power rankings that had Carolina above us preseason. You're like, bro, look at what Carolina's roster is. Like, tell me anywhere besides Brian Burns and J.C. Horn where they're better in any other facet besides us. DJ Moore, yeah, what's he done? Dog shit. Terrace Marshall, yeah, what's he done? Dog shit. Christian McCaffrey, he hasn't been healthy in 3 years. Like, I don't want to hear it. You got J.C. Horn, you got Brian Burns, and I don't really know what else you really got. Jeremy Chin's always hurt. He'd be amazing, but he can't stay healthy. So I just don't. Dude, to me, Carolina was the worst team in the league, and that was even before they tried to trade for Baker, which has turned into another unmitigated disaster. So
what's funny? My co-host on Tuesdays, he actually had Carolina as one of his wild card teams, and he's probably regretting it right now. He's probably regretting it.
Yeah, that's not good.
Gosh.
That's not good. But anyways, this is a Jets podcast. Screw Carolina.
This is a Jets podcast, not Carolina, not Robbie Anderson, not former Jets. God bless Robbie Anderson, but
going back to it. We talked about Quinnen. Quinnen was amazing. The whole defensive line in general was absolutely amazing to watch.
Let's talk about Quincy. Quincy Williams' stat line. Listen to this: 14 total tackles, 8 solo tackles, and he was hitting everything in sight. He had a couple tackles yesterday. I thought the guys he hit were gonna fly right into the Lambeau. We're gonna do a Lambeau leap, but on the sideline, not in the end zone.
Whew. Yeah, he had a great game yesterday too. He was the line, literally the defense, everybody on the defense came to play. I mean, everybody on the defense came to play. I mean, the only person who, it's funny, it really is that the only person I saw very much consistently struggling for the most part was Carl Lawson. David Bakhtiari did a great job on Carl Lawson on really kind of stopping his momentum and the flow that he had built up over the past couple of weeks. But I mean, the other guys on the D line between JFM and Quinnen and Bryce Huff and Michael Clemens and Jacob Martin and even Nathan Shepard had some good, and Sheldon Rankins, all those guys came in and all those guys just came in and just dominated right from Jump Street. And,
Rankins had a sack. Rankins had a sack. JFM had a sack.
Quinnen had his too. I mean, matter of fact, I think Sheldon should have had a second. Sheldon Rankins should have had a second sack, and Aaron Rodgers somehow got out of it. And then he made that throw on the sideline to convert a third down into a first. Yeah, it was one of Green Bay's better plays, but that should have been a sack for Sheldon Rankins too, who has quietly been spectacular for what his role is too. That's another one. I thought they should have cut him in the offseason, taking his cap savings. I'll own that L. I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. They figured out how to use him, and everything's just been so effective.
Yeah. And Green Bay didn't have their first down, I think, until their third series, and that was off a penalty. And nobody explained the penalty until I think it was Zach Rosenblatt from the Athletic. He finally he explained what the penalty was for unsportsmanlike conduct, and apparently one of the Jets coaches had accidentally bumped a referee while the referee was trying to break up something on the sideline, on the Jets sideline, and he accidentally bumped into a referee, and the referee threw the flag, gave him unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench. It's like, are you kidding me? That's the
You gave
penalty.
him a flag for that, but Brees's late hit was, that was Brees's late hit in I think it was at the first quarter, was infuriating. I mean, he was 3 yards out and Inigbari just shoves him. And you see the ref coming there grabbing it, and I'm like, all right, yeah, thank you. And the other ref comes, it's like, no, 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 no. And then they have their talk, and they're like, oh, you're right. I'm like, is that really how the refing is going to go in this game? Like, is that really how the refereeing is going to go in this game? Okay.
For what? Yeah.
And then sure enough, that's exactly how it went for quite some time.
Yeah, especially on the drive when after Barry's touchdown, Rodgers comes back and throws a touchdown to Lazard, but that was aided by a couple of Jets penalties, which
I mean, I wishy-washy, but I mean, I get it. I don't know. CJ Mosley's illegal contact is kind of BS. I think that was kind of. I don't know. You could have let that one slide. It wouldn't have affected anything. But
we got to figure out these penalties on defense. I personally think, and I don't know if you have the same opinion, if you've thought of this yet, or you disagree with me here, but I think DPI, any kind of pass interference penalty, and roughing the passer, those should be reviewable like targeting.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's definitely not. I mean, like the sacks we saw last week, Chris Jones and the guy from Atlanta, I can't remember his name, when he sacked Tom Brady. He got called for. Yeah, he got
the most egregious roughing the passer call I've ever seen.
Both of them were egregious.
Yeah, terrible. I mean, it's a shame, and the NFL still has some officiating that they need to figure out here, but
that's my personal opinion, is that these two penalties, DPI, OPI, any kind of pass interference, whether it be DPI or OPI, or roughing the passer, those should be reviewable. Just like targeting should be. Just like targeting is, excuse me.
I mean, definitely DPI, because I mean, DPI is a field flipping penalty. Yeah, I mean, that's
like last week's Carter penalty on Waddle, which was
again wishy-washy. I mean, yeah, he had a little handful of jersey, but I mean, like, come on, like, you got to let these guys play a little bit here. I mean,
yeah,
but again, it is what it is. You just got to run with it. You can't do anything about it except just bitch and moan while it happens, and then just kind of have to roll with the punches and just go with it. So I mean, it is what it is. It happened, but yeah, hopefully they figure this out, or at the very least, it starts benefiting the Jets instead of hurting them.
Yeah, but offensively,
hold on, we got to go back. We got to talk to secondary, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, secondary. Oh, yes,
we can't go anywhere without talking about the best cornerback in the NFL right now. Not rookie cornerback. No. I didn't say rookie. I said the NFL's best cornerback, and that man is Sauce Gardner. What a legend this guy is. Six games into his career. This is insanity how good he is. I'm flabbergasted watching him play. Everything he does is superhuman, and I don't know how he does it at 6'3". I just don't know how he does it. And then DJ Reed being 5'9", playing like he's 6'3", and just beasting everybody around him too. This secondary's been fantastic. The secondary's been probably my favorite thing to watch so far this year. Has probably watched Sauce and DJ just completely transform this entire team. I mean, it's just been amazing. And Sauce is, I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter who you put on Sauce, dude. You could have put Calvin Johnson on Sauce in his prime, or Randy Moss or Jerry Rice, and I have a feeling Sauce as a rookie would just be like, shut down. He's so good. He's so stupidly good. That video that came up on Twitter of him against Dobbs, that showed him like in his coverage where he's off man, and Dobbs kind of comes out, he flips his hips, Dobbs stops, and he flips his hips back again, and then Dobbs fakes it and tries to go back up. Gardner flips his hips for a third time, and then Dobbs stops again, and Gardner flips his hips for a fourth time. Bro, how are your hips so oily? How? Bro, that was insane. And then he gets in and gets the pass breakup, and you're like, that's just that's literally legendary coverage. Like there is not a better cornerback playing in the league right now, and I'm pretty sure he's number one overall in the league right now in man coverage. If
Yeah.
if I remember his stats.
Yeah. And one of the great things about the secondary this year is that no matter where the ball is thrown, there's somebody right there. There's somebody every time, like wide on Rice, every time making a tackle or just wrapping guys up and having another guy come in and also make the tackle. So this secondary's changed. I mean, last year there was a lot of leaks. They seem to tighten things up over the last month or two of the season, but this year, especially over the last 3 games, this secondary has been so impressive. And yeah, I mean these are the lines for Allen Lazard, 4 receptions, 76 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown came, I think, off of
It came on Eccles.
On Eccles,
Nope.
yep.
The touchdown was a 25-yarder on Eccles, and he had that catch that wasn't a catch on DJ Reed on the sideline.
Right.
And that should have been reviewed, but the upstairs just couldn't get it down to Saleh quick enough to do it before Green Bay ran another play. So
and that was on 9 and that was on 9 targets too. And Romeo Doubs, 9 targets, only 4 receptions, 21 yards.
Yeah, I don't even know who got the 1 catch for 8 yards on Sauce. Like Sauce had like 9 or 11 coverage snaps at his way, gave up 1 catch for 8 yards. I don't even know who it was to. It might have been Dobbs. It might have been one of Dobbs' catches. I honestly don't know. But I mean, it's just amazing at this point to watch what these guys are doing. I mean, Saleh really put his fingerprint on the team this season, bringing in his guys that he had been with before, that knew A, the playbook, that B, knew Saleh, and B, had winning championship experience and knew how to build the locker room and the culture. Hey, kitty. And that was just, with Tomlinson and DJ Reed and Quan Alexander, another revelation that we've had so far this year. It's just like that was very needed. And I'm pretty sure, from what I understand, from what I read, that's credited to Rex Ryan, as a matter of fact, because Rex was essentially kind of like shitting on Saleh and didn't think he had what it took. And then I guess they had a conversation at some point, and then that conversation happened, and Rex came on TV the next week like, I forget everything I just said about Saleh. He's amazing. He told me the plan. It's going to be amazing. And then an article came out later on where, like, what Rex told him was, like, bring your guys in. Like Rex did with Bart Scott and Jim Leonard. Like, bring your guys in so that they can help instill what you're trying to instill. And it was between the rookie class we've had and Saleh getting his guys to get brought in and the happy marriage that they've come with it. I get it. It's been fantastic. Like it's just been fantastic to see. And I'm glad, and it's just, I'm glad the safeties are getting better. Whitehead and Joyner are both starting to play a hell of a lot better. I mean, Joyner now's got 3 or 4 takeaways on the season. I mean, you couldn't start at a season worse than LaMarcus Joyner did. Like you could not do it. And Jordan Whitehead was not far behind, but those two have really settled in, have understood their role, their responsibilities, and have really helped just kind of create this force. And only thing really I think we're lacking here is just we're still lacking coverage out of our linebackers a little bit. I mean, we're still getting killed by tight ends. But I mean, if that's all I can complain about with the defense, I'll take that all day. Because very rarely you're going to lose to strictly a tight end. I mean, very rarely is that going to happen. So I'm all in all, I was very encouraged with the defense. They're definitely, I mean, yesterday, I'm pretty sure we'll probably cement them as definitely a top 10, possibly top five. I don't know. I don't know if they did enough to quite get into a top five defensive territory. I would say they're absolutely a top 10 defense though, with the way they've been the last few weeks,
Yeah,
for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I
So
mean, they only allowed 60-yard rushing, period, to the Packers. And actually, what's funny, the funny stat is that the Jets and the Packers finished with the same exact amount of yards. Both their offenses had, I think, 278 yards each, which it's a credit to both their defenses. But the fact that Aaron Rodgers had 218 yards on 45 passing attempts for 5.6 yards per pass. I mean, sorry, 246 yards and 6 yards per pass. But the Jets running game, 33 rushes, 179 yards. They average 5.4 yards per carry. They average as many yards per carry as Aaron Rodgers did per pass completion.
it was a dominating performance for our run blocking, as well as Brees Hall is another special talent. And that's another thing that's so much more fun. Like, the Jets legitimately have the offensive and defensive rookie of the year so far. Like, I don't Dameon Pierce has an argument, with Brees Hall. I don't really know if there's anybody else that's that close, especially since Olave got hurt. I don't really think there's anybody that close. Maybe if Zappy continues to do what he can, being that he's a quarterback, you can push him in the conversation a little bit. But I mean, literally, it's down to Brees and Dameon Pierce. But Brees is a complete back, whereas Dameon is just pounding the rock. Brees is catching, Brees is pass blocking, Damien's just pounding the rock, and he's just doing it very well. And then to go to defensive rookie of the year, Sauce has been, again, there's nothing much more that we can truly say about Sauce that already has been said. I mean, he's amazing. He's by far, in 2-3 years, he's probably going to be the best player on the Jets. Position doesn't matter position. He'll probably be the best. Quinnen be damn, Elijah Vera Tucker be damn, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall be damned. I mean, Sauce is probably going to be the best player on the team, which is amazing to think about if he's this good as a rookie. So, I mean, besides him, I mean, what are you battling? You're battling Tariq Woolen in Seattle, who's got 4 interceptions. So, I mean, that's amazing for a rookie to already be that, 4 interceptions the last 4 weeks, no less. So, I mean, I don't know. Again, Sauce is just doing so much more than Tariq Woolen is. Woolen's just picking up passes and the stats are nice. But I mean, Sauce is literally shutting people down. And the NFL is going to take notice of that more than they are just a bunch of interceptions. Yeah. So, it's just awesome, man. And Brees, credit to the O-line again. They had another spectacular day yesterday. AVT probably had his worst game so far, and it still wasn't like it was a bad game. He still just, the passing game wasn't working. So Zach was holding onto the ball for a while. If this was a normal game where Zach's getting it out in 2 to 2.5 seconds on 3 to 5 step drops, this offensive line, and it looks way, way better than what it did. But Zach just couldn't find anything, couldn't get anything going. And essentially both those sacks to me are almost coverage sacks that were given up.
Right.
And, so I don't particularly blame Elijah Vera Tucker. I mean, he had an average to above, it's a slightly above average game yesterday, but I mean, that's fine. He's still playing at a Pro Bowl, all pro level. Even, it's been fantastic. Dwayne Brown, a revelation at left tackle, dude. How are you 37 chugging down this field like that, run blocking, bro? That's crazy.
And blowing up dudes, making a way for Braxton Berrios to get in the end zone.
Bro, that's crazy.
And then also, and that block by CJ Uzomah on that same play was awesome. It was great too.
The blocking on that play was, I mean, with Uzomah, Conklin, Dwayne Brown,
perfect.
Lake, I don't think it was Lake. I think maybe it was Connor McGovern who had gotten a little bit down the field on that one too. I mean, that was just phenomenal. I mean, they didn't touch Braxton until he was already in the end zone from, what was that, 20 yards out? 21? I don't remember.
I think it was 20. It was
20 yards out.
Yeah,
20 yards out.
Braxton Berrios stat line: 1 rush, 20 yards, touchdown.
Yeah. So there you go. So I mean, that was awesome. That was a great play. That was ran to perfection. I mean, you can't do that any better. That should be clipped by all the O-line gurus and everybody that's in training, and that should be played in every O-line training camp around the country and in every O-line film room in every college campus to say this is how this is how it's done. This is exactly how it's done, because that was unbelievable. So yeah, I loved it. I loved it so far. I mean, just the only downside you're hoping for right now is you're again, we didn't need him to be any better, but you do need Zach to be more.
Yeah.
I think you take these next three games. You take these next three games between Denver, I think it was Denver, New England, and Buffalo. Buffalo, New England.
Buffalo, New England.
Okay, so you take these three games between Denver, Buffalo, New England. You play your game. You handle your business. You do what you got to do. You go into the bye. Hopefully, another two and maybe another 2 wins. Hopefully, you take out Denver and New England. I just don't see anybody beating Buffalo. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Denver worries me just a bit, only because they're away. They're going against a similar type defense that Green Bay has, and Denver's got decent defense. It's their offense can't do anything.
Patrick Surtain's been a monster this year too. I mean, he's got to be up there in conversation for Defensive Player of the Year with the way he's been shutting down guys so far. So, I mean, I haven't seen what's been going on tonight, so I don't know if he's doing any better or worse than what we've seen thus far. But I'm not too worried about Denver. At the moment they're reeling, their offense looks lost, completely lost. Their run game is non-existent. Russell Wilson is not the same Russell Wilson we expected at all when he came over here. So it's just, I feel like it's almost they're almost in a way an exact copy of Green Bay. Like you just said, they have a Hall of Fame quarterback that just can't figure out how to work with the personnel he's got to be consistently effective like we've seen years past. But they have a defense that has the ability to be very suffocating. So again, it's another game that's going to come down to coaching. I think there's definitely going to be some scheming that needs to be done. But I mean, we're on a 3-game win streak and we still haven't lost a road game yet. So right. Honestly, I think we're catching them at a good time. I really do.
Yeah.
And we get them on a short week. We get them on a short week since they're playing tonight. So
true. And this is very curious to see this afternoon. Yesterday. Elijah Moore tweeted Rich Cimini, who tweeted, of all the eye-popping stats / factoids today, this one's hard to understand. Elijah Moore, 0 targets. And Elijah Moore tweeted him and said, if I say what I really want to say, I'll be the selfish guy. We winning. Grateful, huge blessing, all I ever wanted. He wrote butter, but he meant bittersweet for me. Bittersweet for me, but I'll be solid, so I'll just stay quiet. Just no, I don't understand either. I think, you know what though, you guys figure this out. Stick with me on this one. And somebody tweeted it today. I can't remember. I think it's Buffalo Jets fan. He said this today. Since the receipts comment by Robert Saleh, the Jets are 4-1. Since Quinnen Williams got into an argument with his defensive line coach, he's been balling, straight balling. Since DJ Reed said something about the secondary, had their communications off, the secondary's been lights out. And now Elijah Moore is saying something on Twitter. You got to figure he's going to break out.
Yeah.
I predicted he'd have 1,200 yards this year. He's not even close to that stat line right now. But he's eventually going to have a breakout game.
Yeah, well,
I think next week might be it.
The squeaky wheel gets greased, right? I mean, isn't that how it always is? I mean, every time Randy Moss or T.O. or somebody like that bitched or Calvin Johnson, every time that happened, the next week they balled out. I want you to look at this though. At 2:35 p.m. yesterday during the game, I tweeted this. I don't know if you can read it, but Elijah Moore request a trade soon if they don't figure out how to use him. Unbelievable how horrible he's been used to this point. That was at 2:35 during the game. I tweeted that out. Now I don't think they're quite at that level yet, but I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if the rest of the season for Elijah Moore goes this same way, that him and his people really start to question his fit and role in the Jets, and whether he's going to fit long term. And if it continues into next season, then I absolutely think he would probably request a trade midseason. But I don't want to talk about that just yet.
No.
No, we're not there yet. I don't know what just happened to my camera, but I'm all fuzzy now, so I don't know how to fix it.
It might be your autofocus or whatnot, or focus on the thing, but
I don't know. I don't know how to fix it.
One more, and we're going to close out in a couple minutes. But one thing we got to talk about from yesterday's game: special teams.
Balling.
What a great game! I mean, with the exception of Zerline's missed field goal was from 50+ yards. Special teams played really great yesterday. After Quinn Williams' second sack of the game, it's 4th down. Michael Clemens bull rushes. Now I would say bull rushes, but you see the right side of the line collapse just enough to make a hole for Clemens. He gets in, stretches out that big long arm that says paw on the ball, blocks the punt. Will Parks scoop and score. Jets go up 2 scores. What a great play design. And hopefully, one guy who's on Twitter, I haven't seen him tweet yet, but Mike Westhoff, who is the old special teams coach for the New York Jets, considers himself a Jet for life, I guess. I'm sure when he saw that play, he was smiling. He had the biggest smile on his face, just seeing that play develop and see how it all went down. Block punt, scoop and score, 2 scores, and I'm on. I know you're the same way. We're on cloud 9. We're on cloud 9.
This is scores. This is fantastic. I mean, I've never, I was obviously 2009, 2010 was awesome. Don't get me wrong. They were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a different kind of feeling for this team just because everybody's so young.
Yeah.
Everybody's so young. 2009, 2010, the only young guys they had on the line really was Diebrich and Mangold still at that point. I mean, Faneca, Moore, and Woody were already seasoned vets that were brought in off other teams to complete it. And, the weapons were the same way. Braylon Edwards, Santonio Holmes, those guys were, older guys that weren't homegrown. It just wasn't a lot of the homegrown talent. Right. It wasn't the guys, it wasn't our guys. Like they got paid to be our guys. These guys are going to bleed green and white because, they want to give it everything they got. And this team just feels different. Like the energy feels different. They walk different, rather their heads are held higher. Their confidence is through the roof, and you see it, you feel it. And like, I don't care, any of these haters around the NFL, they can still say Jets suck, this, that, another thing. You're just not watching. Like you're living in the past at this point, because this is definitely a new day. This is definitely a new day.
You want the Jets to remain terrible because it makes good content.
Right, exactly. Because that's just want. That's just the fun. It's just fun. The Jets, no matter what, the old reliable, the Jets being terrible is still going to happen. And you know what? It's just not there anymore. We can literally, we can say it. We can say it. 6 weeks into the season, we can say it.
Mm-hmm.
We're playoff contenders.
Yep.
We are playoff contenders.
They're the 5 seed right now. If the season were to end today, they'd be the 5 seed in the
But we're 3rd in the AFC. I mean, I understand we're 5 because Bills are winning the division. So
because of the divisional things and everything.
But I mean, right now we're 3rd in the AFC, and I don't think anybody at this moment. I really don't think anybody wants to play us. I don't. Yeah. You're just like, because right now you look at it, the Jets are figuring out how to win without playing complete games. They're not having again, I've gone back to this before. They're not having a quarterback throw for 250, 300, 350 yards and a bunch of scores. Their running game is killing it. Their defense is killing it. Their special teams is elite. But again, wait till they figure this out. Like, if Zach can figure it out and just even become like an average quarterback, it's lights out for almost the rest of the NFL. It really is. Don't get me wrong. Any given Sunday, there's going to be weeks where it just, it's just not going to happen. I mean, we can't win every game. Let's be serious. We're not that good. But
right.
It's tough. It's right now. It's harder to pick out the losses than it is the W's. Looking at the way this team's playing on the rest of the schedule,
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Especially
way
the
I
back,
look at it.
especially the back half of the schedule too, where you got 3 NFC North teams who, let's face it, Chicago's not very good. Detroit isn't very good. They're fun to watch, but
Detroit's
they're not very
terrible.
good.
Detroit's
And
defense is a joke.
yeah, Detroit's defense gives up as many points as the offense scores. And Minnesota, they're a decent enough squad uh, that they could give
They're
the
a
Jets some
weird.
trouble because they're playing in Minnesota. But I think two to three of those games, maybe even all 3 of those games are winnable. Then they have the Patriots again at at Buffalo. I believe they have the Jaguars 3 nights before Christmas.
And we have
They have,
Miami to
they
close out
have
the year.
Seattle and Miami.
Yeah, then we have Miami to close out the year. I tell you what, I mean, if that game is, and if that game's serious, I'll probably go to that one. I haven't been to a Dolphins Jets game in since the San Antonio Holmes game, where
Hmm.
they got into the fighting and the arguments and they lost and whatnot. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember what game that was and what year that was, but I just don't remember. But that was the last time I went to a Dolphins Jets game, and that's because the year before the Jets were decent, so they were supposed to be good and they sucked. And then I haven't been back. But I mean, if that's a game that has some serious implications, or the Dolphins have just been terrible, which I would love to see, and the Jets are
Hmm.
balling out and it looks like an easy W, I'll definitely go just to cheer them on
Yeah. And
because that would be electric.
hopefully by then they're in the conversation for a playoff spot, or if they haven't clinched a playoff spot already.
I would love to have like a wild card spot already locked up. But I mean, if it's a win and in type thing, I'll go.
Hmm.
I'll go. Why not? Definitely go. Be nice to
All
see a
right.
Jets team that actually has some decent players. So
Yeah. Hopefully it's not a repeat of 2015. It's just
let's
what
hope
might
not,
have
bro.
been. What might have been. Oh my
Let's
goodness.
hope not.
Well, we're going to wrap things up here on Victory Monday. Dan, I'm going to give the floor to you. If you have any social media channels or anything like that, you know what to do. Plug away.
I mean, again, I keep saying it. One day I'll do it. I'll start using them more. But at the moment right now, I'm just at Danny Smiles 13. My name on this for the video here is trying to be Zach's Eskimo brother. Zach, you have an open invitation to come down here and have sex with my wife if you'd like. Trying to be my Eskimo brother. Throwing that out there.
Yeah.
She may not be old enough. She's not old enough for him, but
Well, Zach Wilson, if you're, and you're,
if you're
I know you're,
listening,
I know you're a big fan of the show. I know you're watching. Oh,
yeah.
Yankees and breaking news: Yankees Guardians postponed until 4:07 tomorrow. So, great.
Oh, so you guys get to sweat it out for another 24 hours, huh?
Oh my gosh, I thought that series would go 3, maybe 4, and I thought Houston, Seattle would go all 5, but that's why I don't listen to me in terms of predictions. But anyway, this is a football show this week.
I couldn't even tell you who's left. I don't care.
Yeah,
Yankees, I assume, but I couldn't even tell you who they're
playing. Yeah. If the Yankees lose, they're out. If the Yankees win, they move on to the championship against Houston. So, but this is a football victory Monday. So in the meantime,
third one in a row, no less. That's another craziness too.
I know.
Third one in a row. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to handle this.
And it's the first time since 2010 that the Jets have won 3 games in a row.
Could we possibly win every game in one single month? That is just astounding to think about.
That is.
We could literally go an entire month without losing a football game.
I can't remember the last time that happened. It might have been 2010.
It's got to be the 09 or 2010 seasons. I just it's crazy to even think about. We may have a whole month of winning Jets football if they can beat Denver.
Hey, you know what? They beat Broncos. They beat the Broncos next week. They're at home with their all stealth black uniforms against the Patriots.
I keep the white and black going. Keep the white and black. It's working. Keep running it. Don't change it.
No, they had that date. They had that date set in mind.
Doesn't matter. Woody can do whatever he wants. Woody can do whatever he wants. All Woody's got to say is, "I'm not doing it," and they'll run back.
You know what? White top, black pants, black helmets.
You
I'll go
gotta
with
keep.
that.
You can't mess with it. You can't mess with it. Green helmet, white top, black pants. You don't mess with it until there's a reason. And if the Jets continue to win, that uniform combo's got to stay. It's got to stay. Can't do it, bro.
Aesthetics aside, for no credentials required, here are the social media channels: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, No Creds REQ, Facebook.com, no creds REQ. If you're watching right now, give us a thumbs up. YouTube, subscribe, notifications. Just search No Credentials Required. Subscribe, notifications. That way you'll know when we're on live or we've uploaded a video, all that kind of thing. And on the audio side, subscribe to the podcast. Spreaker is our home base, but you can also listen on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you podcast, whichever platform you prefer. Leave us a rating. 5 stars is preferred. Leave a review. I might even read it on the air if it's especially awesome and talks about the Jets. So, in the meantime, for Dan Goldstein, I'm Ryan McCarthy. You've been watching the Victory Monday edition of No Credentials Required, or you've been listening to the Victory Monday edition of No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We're presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Godzilla Media. Hopefully, it's the same theme next week. You have another Victory Monday. If the Jets knock off the Broncos, that'll be optimal. Either way, we'll be back here next Monday at 8:45. Oh.
I'd also like to say Dolphins are trash.
That's true.
Hope
you're watching, Commissioner Jason.
Dolphins are trash.
Dolphins are trash.
Victory Monday!